letter so you can go through it. So I kept asking him why. And he says to me, the journalist says you were in a foul mood. I said, are you sure it's the Monday one or it's the Friday one? He says, it's the Monday one. I said, wow. I need to say to them, I'm very sorry if I came across strongly. It is never my intention. I want to have a very cordial relationship with you. And as we fight back most of the disinformation and misinformation campaign that we are going through, it's possible that sometimes we come back too strongly, but it is never our intention. The standing committee is sitting here, still seated. They're still deliberating. So I came out this afternoon with Dr. Mashakada. I'm sure you all know him. He is our information secretary assistant, so he does assist the information department, but his substantive position is the secretary for economy and development. Is responsible for that. So he will be here this afternoon with me to communicate with you and clarify some of the things that you are interested in, and of course assist me. These are the owners of the party. These are the people that started this movement. So always we need them to hold our hands when necessary. The standing committee is sitting, as I've already said, and you'll be happy to know that we've come up with a date for our extraordinary Congress. I saw the article from Daily News yesterday, and my friend, that's not how I gave it to you, but I understand you've got your way of writing. But anyway, the date for our extraordinary Congress is from the 4th to the 6th of September 2020. There are a few things I want you to note about this, is that the extraordinary Congress is falling within the period given by the Supreme Court. After the Supreme Court judgment, the CJ, who is the Chief Justice, he issued what we call, I think it's a practice directive, which suspended execution or implementation of the judgment for about 6 weeks, which meant it's up to our counting of the 3 months started from the 11th of September. So I just wanted to make that point, to put it across that the 4th to the 6th of September is within the legal framework or within the legal time issued by the Supreme Court. I also want to say, having come up with this date, we are going to be consulting the health authorities, because there is public health imperatives which we dare not ignore. You know we're going through a pandemic, so we want to be guided. I have said this in some of my interviews. No one must lose their life because of politics. So it's not the politics that will lead, but it will be health imperatives that will lead. So if they advise us otherwise, don't be surprised. I do not want to see another headline, my friend, that says Coupe postponing extraordinary Congress. No, this is the MDC-T that is sitting and coming up and making decisions as to regards how do we move forward as far as our extraordinary Congress is concerned. We are experiencing a wave of cyber attacks from our Eastward friends, the Alliance. I think Dr. Mashakada here has received his fair share of attacks, the disinformation campaign, which we have noted. And we know that there are also plans, advanced plans to disrupt all of our meetings violently. And there are also plans to storm the Harvest House, Morgan Tsvangirai House, and they almost take it by force. The standing committee did get a report to this effect, and we are looking at many different ways. We are considering many different ways on how to mitigate or how to stop these threats right away. And even on the cyber attacks, the only way, or one of the ways we are going to deal with that situation, is to be able to always come here, give you facts and the truth as we know it, and take your questions as a way of giving truth out there as compared to the lies that is being peddled out there. You will also take note that the Alliance has placed another legal challenge in the courts of law. This time they've cited the President of the country, His Excellency. They have also cited ZEC, they've cited us, they've cited, they've just cited a lot of organizations and institutions and individuals. Their prayer goes like this: they are praying that there be no by-elections in the country, at least until their election or the recall petition is settled. So we just wanted you to know that there is that court challenge there. Of course, we will challenge it. I do not know what the others will do, but we will certainly challenge that. We also took note of the difficulties, or let me put it this way, the disproportionate burden that is being placed, unfairly so, upon the poor of combating the spread of COVID-19. That burden is disproportionately skewed against the poor. And Mashakada will speak more on those issues to say it is not correct, or it is not fair that big business is able to go on with life. They are able to go on and make a living, make an income, but the vendors on the streets, our gogos and mothers and sisters selling by the streets, are not able to go on with their lives as usual. The taxi guys are not able to sustain their business. In fact, there's no business to speak of because they've been literally banned. It's only Zuko that can operate, and it's a worry to us. We understand that it is important that we combat the spread of COVID-19, but that burden, it must be shared almost fairly and equal. But we are disappointed. As I come to the end of my opening remarks, I need to also say we also are disappointed by this new phenomena. The new phenomena of using women for selfish political ends. So you will see that women are almost sent in the front line. Not for activities or activism that benefits the country as a whole, but activism that benefits just narrow selfish interest either of an individual or of a political party. We are very, very worried about that. And we wish that even as our courts are looking at these matters, and now I'm speaking of the three ladies that are languishing in prison right now, and I do not have the facts, we do not have the facts why they were denied bail, but in our constitution everyone is presumed innocent until proven otherwise by a competent court of law. So we will appeal to the authorities. We have seen them give bail to their male counterparts, Honorable PT and others. They were given bail, and I'm not sure how much of a threat this lady proposes, but If it turns out that they are innocent of the crimes that they are accused of, you would have taken an innocent Zimbabwean and treated them like a common criminal. So we are really appealing to authorities to take note that most of these young ladies are impressionable and they are taken advantage of. So if we punish them, or if we are heavy-handed on them, we are not dealing with the problem. And so we condemn in the strongest possible ways the use and abuse of women for political and selfish, narrow political ways. Mashakada, do you have a word to say?
Yeah, thank you, Brother again. Thank you very much for those remarks. Good afternoon, press, media. I think what I want to highlight is that in the midst of all these developments, we must never lose sight of the goal. And the goal is about the economy. The economy is in the wrong hands. The ZANU-PF leadership is clueless and they cannot manage the economy. One of the areas which they continue to mishandle is the exchange rate and, of course, the issue of the currency, among other host of economic issues or factors. You may recall that yesterday they held their first auction, foreign exchange auction. And a lot of issues which I want to highlight regarding the problems, the underlying problems associated with the foreign currency auction. The highest bidder was 100 million, as we already all know. The lowest bidder was 25 million, as we already know. And the weighted average is now 57,000, which is now setting the new exchange rate for this coming week until Tuesday. Now, what is the problem with the foreign exchange auction system? The first thing is that it's an admission that the country cannot produce enough foreign currency. The economy is not reforming. The productive sectors are weak, and there's no economic stimulus to stimulate exports and foreign currency earnings. It is also an admission that the capital account or the balance of payments is not performing. Therefore, there are no new foreign currency inflows that are coming into the country. But what has that done? It has created more arbitrage. The foreign exchange rate, the official exchange rate has now risen from 25 to 57. This will just push the parallel market rate to higher rates, and this will weaken the Zimbabwean dollar further. So we are going in a vicious circle. The other challenge is that you cannot rule out insider information in the conduct of the auction. Obviously, the foreign currency auction system has created an oligarchy or a cabal in the foreign currency sector, where a few people have got inside knowledge and inside information on how the system operates. The rest of the people who need foreign currency, those who want to import drugs, those who want to pay school fees for their children, those who want to import food, they are not privy to inside information happening in the foreign currency market. So it is now a system driven by a few oligarchies or monopolists, so to speak, when the rest of the market is not privy to the participation in that foreign exchange market. So what's happening is that this is going to stoke inflation, this is going to stoke higher parallel market rates, and it's going to put further pressure on the Zim dollar. We are tinkering with a bigger structural problem in this country, and the only way is to go back to the real fundamentals. Let us restore confidence in the economy, let us boost production, let us address the issue of the currency. I've said for the 10th time that at this stage, you need a currency that angers the economy, that brings macroeconomic stability. And I will always insist that for now, let us migrate to the United States dollar to anger macroeconomic stability and make sure that it's a store of value and it's a reliable medium of exchange. The misalignment between the formal exchange rate and the parallel exchange rate has to be arrested. And the only way to arrest it is to introduce a stable currency or medium exchange, and in this regard, it is the United States dollar. The foreign currency option system will not work because it's an elitist approach which excludes a lot of participants in the foreign currency sector. So I just thought I should make those comments on this foreign exchange auction system. And we witness the impact on hyperinflation. We also witness the impact on the parallel market rate. Thank you very much on that note. The other issue, Honorable, again, is that the Gata media has tried to paint me saying that there are no abductions in this country and so on and so forth. All those were lies, trying to soil my image and my credibility and my reputation. I still maintain that ZANU-PF and government are or stand accused of these adoptions, and they must cease forthwith the practice of abducting people at night, whether in the daylight or in the morning. They must stop torture, they must stop human rights abuses, and we stand by our statement that those abductions have to be investigated and that those people are correct to say they've been abducted until proven otherwise. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Honorable Mashakada. We're now ready to entertain your questions. Today I happen to be the MC and the keynote speaker. Hey, Msana. Is that going to be, should I be worried? Okay. So I'll start with daily news because I can see you turning inside. Then I'll come with you, Msana. I say, oh, there is a female. I think it's the first time. Yes, yeah, and then I'm going to come to my sister. And then you, my brother, then the fifth. You're the fifth one, right? I'll take you on the second round. Yeah, so we start with you, daily news.
Okay, maybe just in relation to allegations you make. It's unfortunate that you chose to become the politician and the journalist at the same time, where you want to describe to us how we must style our stories. I thought you were going to complain that the story was factually wrong. Yet you have just confirmed the postponement now. Then my question is, last time we were here, we were invited to come and attend the caucus of parliamentarians. I just wanted to find out how many MPs did come to today's caucus, and if we may have their names. Thank you very much.
All right, that's you, Msana, now.
Yes. You say in your statement that there is abuse of women for certain political aims. Are you not lowering the value of women yourself by thinking that women are being used, that they do not have common sense of their own to actually take up and take that action that they did? That men are the only people who have a mind to ensure that they protest against things that they are not happy about. But when women do so, as a party, you say they are being abused. And when you then made examples, you then said, Honorable Iti, I think, was given bail. You excluded a person accused of tenders that go to 60 million in terms of fraud, corruption, the Minister of Health, who actually drove himself to court, was not even detained. Is your business as the opposition to oppose a faction of your party and not to oppose the real issues that are confronting the country? I want you to be clear here, because you appear to be saying that there is favoritism to the opposition of the MDC alliance and give the ET bail. You ignore the Minister of Health. And also then say women do not think for themselves, but the actions that they are doing, they are being used in questionable.
Question number 3.
Thank you.
Which media? Sorry.
Sorry, this is Take Mac TV.
Take Mac.
You mentioned that women are being used in political interests, and then he then said, no, you are defending the fact that women are being used. Are the two of you just not being contradictory to each other? Because if you're saying women are being used and he's defending women, what then are both of you saying? Are you implying that the women were not abused and then he's saying no, they were abused? What are you saying as a party? And at the same time, why would you be worried about rivalry women? Thank you.
Why worry about rival women?
Yeah.
Meaning, why worry about women from the MTC Alliance?
If you're saying that these women are being used, why are you then worried about them?
All right. Question number 4.
263 Church. You alluded to a court challenge by the MDC Alliance.
Yeah.
Are you avoiding the by-elections because of COVID? And if so, is it not? Are you not considering that it will expose you to defeats should by-election be held?
Okay. Number 5.
Mr. Puken, you alluded to the Congress, the extraordinary Congress being held between the 4th and the 6th of September, if I'm not mistaken. My understanding of the constitution of the MDC is that when an extraordinary Congress is to be held, there is only one agenda item. So why would you need 3 days for an extraordinary Congress? For an exercise that can be done in 30 minutes.
All right. Okay. I will start by addressing the daily. Of course, I'm going to leave some for my comrade Dr. Mashakada. I'm going to start with daily news on his complaint. My complaint wasn't that you said Congress was quote-unquote postponed. I can have a technical argument over that because we never issued a date out there. But my complaint was, it's not Dr. Coupe who postponed if there was a postponement. I'm saying it's the MDC-T. That was my issue with you because I have the voice notes of our exchange. I never said Dr. Coupe postponed anything. But that was the issue. Otherwise, your substantive question, what was the question, by the way?
It was about the parliamentary caucus.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I've got it here. Right. The parliamentary caucus, we had 30 plus MPs. I'm not sure if I can give you the names. I left their register upstairs, but I can give you a video. I had them here. Let's talk. I'll give you the video. You'll see for yourself. It was an awesome caucus. I'm sorry that you missed it, but I hope the video will suffice. Now, the question is why worry about used? And then you're saying, you misunderstand me when you say I'm saying they are favored. MTCA is favored that because PT was given bail, and then you insert the Minister of Health. I didn't even speak about him. The let us speak here. That was you bringing him and making a comparison, which I didn't do. But let me tell you what I meant when I brought in Honorable Pitt. I was saying to the legal system, I was saying, Honorable Pitt is a vice president of these young ladies. And I was saying, they are denied bail. And if you have to deny somebody bail, that person must pose a serious threat, either not to appear, you see, or basically to leave the country. They are flight risk. And I'm saying, if you look at Honorable Mamombe and Honorable Pete, who can pose a flight risk there? So I'm saying, if Honorable Pete can be given bail, surely Honorable Mamombe and the other two can be given bail. That's the point I'm making. And I'm saying, I do not know the circumstances. I was careful to say this. I do not know the circumstances beyond their denial of bail. And I'm saying the system must be sympathetic to appreciate that these are young ladies. They're in the youth assembly, remember. They're in the youth assembly, and we know that youths are impressionable. And in politics, youths are used for all sorts of things. We know that. And I'm simply saying the legal system must be careful in dealing with these young people. They are young. If there are mistakes that were made, we need to appreciate that. That's all I'm saying there. I know nothing about the minister and the conditions of his bail. I really know nothing. And I think I've already attended to the issue of lowering women. I'm not all lowering them. I'm making that comment because we know they are all from the youth assembly. And we know that youth are impressionable. And I'm really requesting that as we deal with them, we must... I'm basically making an appeal for their release. That's what I'm doing here. I'm making an appeal to say, keep them out until you take them before a competent court of law. There is no reason during this winter season why those three ladies must be incarcerated. There's no reason. I'm saying treat them like you treat Honorable Pete. That's the point that I'm making. And then my sister here says, why are you worried about rival women? Those are not rival women, those are my comrades. We may hold different political views with Honorable Mamombe and the other. Well, the other two I don't have a close relationship with, but of course Mamombe, because she's from the MDC-T ticket. I know her very closely. We've worked together from the 2014 Congress and so they are not rival. But even if they were rival, they are also Zimbabweans. The point I'm making here is we've got one constitution, we've got one Bill of Rights. So the way how you treat someone from ZANU-PF, MDC-T, you must treat also MDC-A people in the same manner. That's the point that I'm making. So no, there is no rival women there. They are Zimbabweans. 263 chat. Court challenge. Are we scared? No, we're not scared at all. The irony, if you are following events, the irony is that the MDCA is the one that said they will clap us come by elections. That's what they say. They say to recall our people, we will show you flames in the by-elections. But here they are saying we don't want by-elections. What is it that they want? They must pick a lane. You want by-elections? Bring it on. What we are not going to allow is a situation where you go out there and say these people are ZANU, they are recalling people, we are going to beat them in by-elections, and then you go and make sure that those by-elections don't happen. Let them happen. And let's meet in the trenches and let's see what will happen. Honorable Mashakada, you speak even on the things that I've spoken to. Why 3 days extraordinary Congress? Day number 1 is the arrival. Day number 2 is actually the business, the extraordinary Congress. Day number 3, people are going back. I hope I've answered you. Honorable Mashakada.
I think you answer the questions. We can take a second round.
Okay. Second round, so please direct them to Honorable Mashakada. He's here to assist me and hold my hand. If they all come to me, I'm going to be in trouble with Honorable Mashakada. He won't come next time. Yes, my brother.
So my first question will go direct to Honorable Mashakada.
My name is Tony, I'm with Checkmate TV. Honorable Mashakada, if I need to understand, confirm you are a member of parliament that has been selected under the MDC Alliance ticket representing Hatfield. How do you feel as a member of parliament now, representing a rival party that you know you contested against, and these guys, they lost against you, and the people in favor in you, and they voted out the MDC-T putting you? How does that make you feel as a member of the same constituency now crossing the floors? The second question I'll direct to you, Mr. Buge. You spoke of a matter that is technically sub judice before the court of law, where you are pleading before the High Court to make a certain judgment that is within your favor, which I consider to be sub judice. But I need to just understand, how does it make you feel, because you've already led the way, the court has heard the case about the Harvest House occupation. I understand this matter is still before the court of law as well. This was heard on last week Saturday, and the judge is yet to make a ruling, and you are still enjoying the benefits of the same court proceeding. How does this make you feel when the judge is chosen not to make a pronouncement after the hearing has been finalized last week Saturday? Those are my two questions.
All right, thank you. I just need clarity. I'm not answering now, but I need clarity. What is it that I appeal to the High Court to rule in our favor?
No, you appealed. You made an appeal. You made a statement over the girls, which I understand is a matter before the court. So now that you're speaking about a matter before the court, you allow me to also wade into a matter that is also before the court. How does it make you feel when you are beneficiary of Harvest House, says the matter is still before the court, and the High Court Justice has already had this court, but has not yet made a judgment 2 weeks after? How does that make you feel?
All right. I'm Sangamana. Any other new hands before I go to him? Yes, sir.
Yasha Zashindo from
Nehan. Okay.
So I understand that Dr. Tapiwa Mashakada is trying to form an alliance with smaller parties that will use with the national chances. Now,
projection.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, these things will not come out on YouTube.
Okay. I understand Dr. Tapiwa Mashakada is trying to form an alliance with some smaller parties that way once fused with the MDC alliance. For example, the Transform Zimbabwe. But then there are media reports that Transform Zimbabwe in particular is actually snapped the request. How true is this?
Okay. That question from a new hand, I will come to you. Any other new hand? No more new hand? All right,
the first one is not a question, but it's just a bit of a lesson. When a newspaper writes Coupe postpones Congress, it's because Coupe is the leader of the MDC. So you don't write MDC-T postpones Congress, because at the end of the day, the back stops to the president. So I just wanted you to understand that. Then, Honorable Mashakada, is the Herald Gata Press. Given that you said that Gata Press is trying to sell you in the story that you talk about, I saw it published in the So are you on record in this press conference saying that the Herald is Gata Press? I also want to find out from the MDC-T. This is like your third press conference, and in all your press conferences, the MDC Alliance has been the major issue. Didn't answer that question. I gave you that question before. That
What's your question?
Is your business as the MDC-T to deal with the MDC Alliance? I say this because there's a trend. Your first press conference, your second press conference, and now the major issue is to discuss the MDC Alliance. That is the major issue. So I want to find out, are you primarily established to fight the MDC Alliance?
Doc, shoot, and then I'll take those that you didn't take.
Thank you very much. The first question relates to the people of Hatfield who voted me into Parliament. We all know that we had an alliance, which was an election pact of 7 parties. And the major party in that alliance was MDC-T. that is the circumstance under which that election pact was constructed, and I was there as the MDC-T component of that election pact. So my occupying a seat in that house is consistent with that election pact, which produced me as a representative fielded by election pact. So where MDC-T was the major component of that election pact. And for your information, when the decision to disengage Parliament was done, I made my consultation with the structures and the voters who voted me, and they said, we voted you to represent us in Parliament, not to stay out of Parliament. So I'm not offside, I'm not in the wrong place by being in Parliament. I'm discharging the mandate and responsibilities that were imposed on me by the people of Edfield. So there's no contradiction there. The second question of us being here at Harvest House, I think I need to explain a little bit. Harvest House was bought by MDC-T. We bought Harvest House during the early stages of our formation, and the property is being held in trust by the trustees. If you are a trustee, you are not the owner of the property. You are holding it in trust. It means there's a beneficiary of your trusteeship, and it has always been clear that the beneficiary is MDC-T. And the terms of that trustee agreement or trust agreement are very clear that the beneficiary is the MDC-T. That's why we are here, with the beneficiary of that trustship or trustee arrangement. The question of Dr. Kupe wishing to join hands with other political parties is neither here nor there. That's how it should be. Opposition forces or pro-democratic forces in Zimbabwe must unite to dislodge ZANU-PF. That's why we had the alliance in 2018. Let us all unite and not divide ourselves or be divided by anybody else. So that's the right attitude, that's the right move. We must unite all pro-democratic forces with civil society, with labor, with churches, everybody. Let us unite, join hands to remove ZANU-PF. That's how it should be. But you cannot determine who will take that route or who will accept that request. People have got their own assessment and judgments. If a political party decides not to want to join us, it is their democratic right. You can't say, what Transform said, we don't want to join, therefore it's a bad idea. It doesn't necessarily follow.